G'day folks, it's the Meeple Monkey here again. This time I've got a different sort of video for you. I don't really know what to call this one. I guess like a painting showcase or a painting video. Yeah, basically I had a few, or at least one or two comments in the last couple of videos throughout this Marvel United X-Men gameplay or playthrough series that I've been doing. I've had a few people query, am I painting the models, asking, if I could show off any of the models I'd been painting. I think I've had at least one person ask that, and then in a recent, I think the most recent video I showed some of these stands from TablePlay, TablePlay.com. And these are like tiered display stands that you can get for the Marvel United games. I think they've got a Marvel United X-Men specific sort of set of stands with sort of some slightly different configurations or larger configurations for some of the bigger models there as well. So that's coming in the future. But yeah, I showed off these stands, and on the stands I had the painted models. Yeah, someone asked if I could sort of show those off a little bit more sort of thing. So I thought, okay, I'm not really the greatest painter sort of thing, and I haven't really done that many of them. In fact, you're seeing the grand total of all the models for the game that I've painted. But I thought, well, a bit of fun, I can show them off and talk a little bit about, myself as a painter. Then I thought, probably more beneficial for you guys than that is, I've mentioned before that I'm on the Marvel United Discord, and there's a lot of great painters there as well. So I thought, this would be a nice chance to sort of maybe highlight some of those people and give them a bit of a shout out and show off their skill, because they've certainly sort of blown me away and sort of inspired me with all the range of their skills and just cool ideas and little clever takes on some of the models and that sort of thing. So I thought I'd show off a selection of those. So I've reached out to a number of the people in the Discord and sought their permission to show off some of their work. So that's what we'll do. We'll have a bit of a showcase of some of my stuff, but then better than that, I'll show you some real good quality stuff from some of the other people in the Marvel United community. So that'll be great. And then, of course, from there, if you're interested in this stuff, it's just a sort of a springboard into all sorts of awesome painting that you can see. So, I highly recommend you sort of check out, I would imagine on BGG, there's probably a bunch of people showing off their work, and probably the Facebook groups and all sorts of places. I'm sure you can find some really good stuff. I think recently someone on BGG just put up a series of their models that they'd done, and they were really impressive as well. So yeah, definitely check all that stuff out. Anyway, so what I thought I'd do is I'll quickly show you, sort of talk a little bit about myself as a painter and show you what my current setup looks like, or the things that I'm using to do my painting. And then I'll show off each of the models that I've done, all 9 of them. So there's not that many of them. All 9 of them, just sort of show off each one a little bit more close up, and sort of talk a little bit about what I was thinking or what I was doing with each one, and then we'll go through these painting superstars in the Discord. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so this is my sort of current painting setup. Only really missing, of course, the I put a sort of a tablecloth, or a sort of, like a not a tarp, but waterproof sort of tabletop down over the dining / game table here, just to sort of protect the table, obviously, rather than painting and having any mishaps happen there. So I guess my background as a painter is, probably should mention, I for about 10 years, probably 10 years ago now, since leaving high school, going through uni and on and off sort of full time, I worked for about 10 years at Games Workshop, in the different Games Workshop stores in Australia. Had a lot of fun there, and through that, you know, had big love of the Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000 games, and all those sort of related games in those different universes. Was a massive Empire fan and Orc fan in Warhammer 40,000 as well, and through working at the store, obviously I had to sort of paint the models there and that sort of thing, so I sort of learnt to sort of improve my painting skills through working there, and I developed a style there. I sort of got set in my ways, and I sort of learned how to paint through there, but also sort of got set in my ways about. I sort of developed a style there where I was never very good at, never could get the hang of, or sort of have the patience for blending. So, you know, with highlighting and sort of blending my way up to the highlights. So I developed this very sort of extreme style of highlighting that I called my sort of comic book style, although and that's one of the reasons when I got into this game, Marvel United, I thought, oh, this is perfect. This is, this is the perfect game to fit thematically with my style of painting. But I have subsequently learnt that a lot of people call their style comic book style, and it looks nothing like mine, and it looks a lot better than mine. Yeah, but anyway, I had this real extreme style. So what I would do is I've always undercoated with black. So being someone who worked at Games Workshop, obviously I sort of got used to and learnt using their products. So that's I still to this day use Citadel products primarily because that's what I know, and also I had a bunch of the stuff left over from my days back then, and I've sort of dabbled in and out. A couple of years ago, sort of got into painting the Super Fantasy Brawl models and that sort of thing. So I've sort of always sort of gone back in, dabbled, picked up a few extra paints, and then I've gone from there. So with the Marvel United stuff, I basically am just using what I had sort of left over from that time, and I've picked up a couple extra paints here and there as I've gone along. But yeah, I've always used a black undercoat, so I used the Chaos Black from Citadel. Have never, because of my style as well, and I liked the idea that, Warhammer 40,000, my take on it, and Warhammer Fantasy, I loved the fact that it was like a dark gothic sort of world that they'd sort of turned into this sort of fantasy world as well. So I loved that sort of setting of the Empire and how everything was sort of like dark, and that Empire, was full of dark forests and that sort of thing. So my painting style was always dark. I always liked having black as the absolute shadow, and I hear people say you should never use black as your sort of darkest shadow and that sort of stuff. But that's how I learned to paint. That's how I sort of like developed this style. So I always undercoat black, build everything up from black, never undercoat white. Probably all these painting rules that I'm breaking, but and then I just go, I used to go only like about two or three colors from there. So I'd go black to some sort of dark version of whatever color I was using, so whether it was green or blue or whatever, go one more highlight over the top of that, very extreme, and then maybe some line highlighting here or there. And I pretty much to this day still just follow that recipe of painting. So when I paint, I use the Chaos Black undercoat, and you can see here I've got my little spray box that I sort of pop the models on. So I've been doing these guys 3 at a time. So I put some blue tack here, stand them on there, spray them, and that's how I go from there. Then when I'm actually painting, I've got my handy newspaper. I've got in here, you can see here my glues and lots of paints and bits and pieces. I have my little painting sort of tile that I use in all the Games Workshops I used to work at. We used to have tiles on the painting tables to sort of to paint with. You can see I've never it's been a few years, I've never really cleaned that off, so it just keeps building up layers and layers of geological strata of the paint there. Yeah, lots of different paints there. I had I must have gone and bought, like, when I got back into painting with the Super Fantasy Brawl stuff, I've got this set of fantasy, or it's this new Age of Sigmar stuff. Paints. Being an Empire fan, I've less said about that, the better, but I think I'm in the minority there. And then, what do we got here? Citadel layer paints as well, must have got this. Now, I had another set, because this is why you might notice none of my characters have any green in them. I had a whole bunch of greens in one of these boxes, and I have no idea. We've moved since, and I have no idea where they went. So when I got back into Marvel United, I haven't been able to find any greens amongst all my collection. I've had to buy some new ones since then, so I do have some now. But yeah, I wasn't able to do any Hulk painting or anything like that. Otherwise, he would have been like a what's that Red Hulk called? I can't remember. Some sort of Red Hulk guy. Anyway, so that's what I'm using there. I've got my little lamp. Is that going to be? Oh gosh, that's sorry, just blinded everyone. Got my lamp there, and yeah, pretty basic setup. I've just got an old what's that game? I think Century Golem edition. I just used one of the containers for the gems in that for one of my painting tubs there, and that's what I put the water in, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, so that's my basic sort of setup, and I've just got the one. I think there is another brush in there, but it's some sort of base like dry brush type thing. With these models, I used to do a lot of dry brushing back at Games Workshop and stuff, but haven't really used that as a style on these ones, as you'll see. But I just use this. What is it? Let's see if you can see that. Gosh, the layer brush. I'm not sure what that equates to when you talk about the millimeters or whatever, but just that one there, and I pretty much do everything with that. I think it's a little bit smaller than a large brush, but I always was taught back in the day, you know, if you can paint well using like a large brush and not sort of rely too much on the fine details and that sort of thing, you'll have better sort of brush control and that sort of thing. So don't know if that's true, but yeah, although I must admit, back in the day, I used to sort of make quite a lot of use of the fine detail brushes and that sort of thing as well. But yeah, do what you can, I guess. As long as it works for you, that's the main thing. So yeah, let's have a look now at. Hope that was a bit rambly, but hopefully I sort of got a little bit of you know, some of the reasons behind and origins behind why I paint like I do. But let's bring these guys across now, and we'll just have a look at these. So I've got them arranged here in the order in which I'm pretty sure I painted them. So there's a couple of them I'm like not sure. I'm pretty sure I started with Beast. I think I had a few of these guys going on at the same time. So I think I started with Beast, Captain America, and Ant-Man. I might have actually started Ant-Man first, I can't remember, but I definitely finished him before Ant-Man. So let's just take a look. So I did end up, I think I backed Marvel United X-Men. I think I backed that Kickstarter, or you know, saw the Kickstarter, was interested in it, then sort of saw that you could get the all-in Marvel pledge, or the Marvel United, the original Kickstarter pledge, minus the base game. So I think I went and got the base game first to try it out. So I had a bunch of these models, and then yeah, you know, obviously backed the X-Men with 2-wave shipping, and then it wasn't until I got the first core set for the X-Men box that I started painting. So I had a bunch of these, you know, Captain America and Ant-Man and these guys, and you know, playing the game and enjoying the game. But it wasn't until I got these guys that I thought, you know what, I'm going to get back, I'm going to start painting. These look like a lot of fun, and yeah, I wasn't wrong. So you know, as a lot of you have probably discovered, it's just such a fun game to paint. You know, the models are just so cartoonish and comical and big and bold that they're just really fun to paint. So here we have Mystique. So you can see what I'm talking about here with this real extreme style. So it's not for everyone, and it is a you know impressionist style. You know, looks better from a distance than real up close. But Let's get into the nitty-gritty with them here. So you can see this is what I started with here. So in that box of stuff, you know, there's a lot of dried out stuff, but the stuff that was pretty good still was a lot of the reds and blues. So I sort of, you know, you can see a lot of my choices were originally around, okay, what can I paint that's red and blue? So Mystique sort of fits the bill there. So you can see, yeah, even with like something like a white coat or, you know, white dress or whatever she's got here, you can see that my darkest sort of highlights, or sorry, darkest shadow areas or recesses are black, and then I've probably gone with like some sort of a grey or a cream sort of colour, and then white on the top there. So real sort of extreme, real harsh highlights there. So yeah, that's her there. I never really learned to do metallics that well. I find it hard to sort of highlight them with my style. And yeah, never learned that technique about you know, non-metallic metals. That all sort of was kind of it was sort of starting back when I was still sort of working at Games Workshop and still sort of painting and sort of developing this style, but I just never really got into it, learned how to do it. You can I like her little and basically with a lot of these X-Men models, I did try to base my painting off the cards. Really, I sort of used the cards as a guide, and you can see. So I decided to put the lipstick on her. I'm pretty sure she's got that on the card, but it kind of looks like she's just sort of got into her mum's lipstick drawer and just sort of started smearing it all over her lips. So it didn't quite come out, but yeah. Nice, and I often with the models with my style, I sort of like to paint the sort of the dark lines in the cheeks there. I'm not sure if it sort of really suits these models, but that's how you go. With her, sort of happy with her, but you can see here the base. It's all sort of, there's texture there because when I got these paints, there was some, you know, the Games Workshop guy in the store sort of sold me these textured paints for the bases. And I sort of regret using these now because they're such cool cartoonish bases. There's lots of sort of fun, big, bold sort of details on them. I would have liked to have sort of highlighted them with the same style as my painting. That's what I've done with all the rest. So she kind of looks out of place, but I don't know how to get the textured stuff off without ruining the model and sort of risking chipping all her paint off and stuff. So I'm kind of stuck with this here. But anyway, that's sort of half the fun, is, you know, being able to look back at the progress you've made and different choices you've made throughout the process. So I don't think I'm going to go back and fix her up or anything like that. Speaking of fixing up, this is one model I did do a little bit of fixing up with. This is who's this, Black Widow. So you can see here she's got that same thing. So, you know, even with the red hair, she's got the black as the sort of the line in the middle there. She had real harsh sort of cheek recesses there as well, and I even painted them sort of in the wrong spot too. My wife said that doesn't match her bone structure, that's not where that would be, sort of thing. So I decided I'd go back and sort of soften her by at least just filling in those lines there. So I think she sort of improved a little bit from there. I'll go in and zoom. I don't know if you can make out her eyes there. I sort of I did something with like an ink or something where I just dabbed a bit of green in the center of the eye, and it just sort of beaded there and left some white around the outside sort of thing, and it looked kind of cool. But I haven't been able to recreate that apart from one other model, but it was with like a technical paint, I think, so I don't really know how I'm going to do that. But she's got these glowy rods here, and you can kind of see she's got a bit of sort of like a bluey white glowy thing around her suit. Now she's wearing all black, and one of my weaknesses as a painter was that I used to just sort of leave. I didn't like the look of like a real dark, even just a real dark grey as like a line highlight that you do on black models. So and I had a lot of armies that I used to use with black uniforms and that sort of thing, but so I just leave them black, and it's a bit boring, but I sort of just thought that, well, the light's highlighting the black anyway, and I think that's what I've done with her. I've sort of left it, I think I've given her like a wash, maybe like a black wash or a dark brown wash. I might have even still had a bit of Devil and Mud left for her, I'm not sure. It doesn't look like Devil and Mud though to me, it looks like maybe just a black wash or something. So she's very shiny, and you can see there I've, oh gosh, I think the light's terrible with this, sorry guys. I've sort of just painted the base normally, and and I've put a wash on that one to make it more interesting because I went way too light early. I didn't sort of highlight very well there, or at least with my style. So if we come back here, this is the one I first started getting really, like I thought, oh, these are fun, they're sort of, my style is matching these, but Beast I was sort of really proud of. Now I've seen some other Beasts and I'm like less proud of him, but so you can see his base is a bit more interesting. I've got some sort of highlights there, and I put a bit of a sort of a green wash to make it look like there's some sort of gross stuff coming out of these cables, or maybe the cables are lying in like a waste pool or something like that. But with Beast, I don't know if you're going to be able to pick it up with my lighting here, but I tried to do the highlights with little tiny sort of furry sort of like little dabs. Don't know if that's coming up very well there, but yeah, he was a lot of fun to paint, and I was really looking forward to this guy. I think he was the one I saw in the box, and I thought, yeah, I've got to paint him, and that's what got me started painting them. But I used Mystique as a bit of practice before I got into him. So he was a lot of fun, and happy with his teeth too. I was able to sort of like really pick those out pretty well too. So, or at least I was happy with it. So that's old Beast, and he's one of my favourites from the X-Men team, the old original guys. So, or at least that 90s X-Men that I was sort of reading the comics and watching the cartoons. Now Captain America, he's pretty cool as well. I like what I've done with the. You can see that highlighting style with the blue there, and yeah, he's for me, I'm happy with him. I think he's come out pretty nice. His helmet, not so much. It's a bit sort of streaky there, if you can see that. But I sort of left it as I was like, oh, kind of interesting texture. But I don't know, maybe I should make it a bit flatter. I'm not sure. But yeah, and he's the one that I did. I don't know if you're going to pick that up. Probably doesn't look quite like it does in real life, but I think I've used like a technical, one of those new Games Workshop technical paints, and dabbed those in his eyes, and it looks really good, and I haven't been able to recreate that. But there you go, he's got his base. The highlights work all right there. Yeah, and just that was, I thought, okay, I'm starting to hit my stride with these guys now. Now Ant-Man was a bit of a step backwards. I think he's because he's lots of metallic, and I just don't know how to get my style working. You can see I've tried to put a few black streaks in there and black lines, but yeah, he's just kind of this metallic. And now every metallic you see by a good painter is always this non-metallic metal stuff, and it just blows regular metallic stuff out of the water. Well, for the most part, I'm about to show you hopefully a really good example of metallic painting, but done really well. So yeah, he's alright. He gets the job done, and I'm sort of happy with his eyes. Got some little dots there. So yeah, he's pretty cool. And I like his model, and I did something different with the base. Did some browns instead of the greys and stuff. So yeah, he's a fun one. But yeah, he's not setting the world on fire there. Now I was really happy with old Cyclops here, Cyclops. Man, he's super passive aggressive in that 90s TV show, isn't he? So anyway, yeah, never one of the coolest characters, but certainly, he had cool powers, didn't he? And he looked very iconic in his uniform. I really like how he's turned out here. So and he gets. I was able to show off. I really like the way I can do my yellows, where I start from black and then go up through some browns and then end with yellows. So I quite enjoy doing that. So yeah, he looks kind of cool. I'm sort of happy with the highlights there. And I've even put in a little dig at Cyclops here with some graffiti. I like to imagine that maybe Jubilee's done that, just poking fun at him, or maybe even Jean Grey herself's done it, who knows. But a little dig at him there, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, really so happy with him. I really like how I was able to get the glowy, almost sort of glowy effect in the visor there. But again, hopefully I'll be able to show off some really good versions of him too that sort of blow this one out of the water. But I was happy with him for my level of skill. Then I think I've got these guys in the wrong order. I think this one came first. Alright, so this guy I'm also really happy with as well. He's one of my favorites because X Factor are my favorite team. I got into reading comics in about 93 or so, and they had this Executioner's Song crossover between all the X-Men teams, and that's when I got into reading comics or reading the X-Men. And I think they had X Factor, X Force, and the 2 X-Men teams, and all their sort of comics, you know, each week would come out with this ongoing story, and I really liked the X Factor team. I loved Multiple Man was my favorite, and because he sort of like had a lot of banter with Strong Guy, I really liked Strong Guy as well in that team. So yeah, this is Strong Guy. I'm again, you know, getting to sort of play with this yellow, extreme yellow highlighting. I really like what I've done with the fists there, just the highlights on those fingers, and that's kind of cool. I like that fist there too, and I don't know, like a lot of this stuff I just kind of fluke it and I can't recreate it. So like these glasses, I'm really happy with how his glasses turned out. I can't even remember how I did it, what colors I used, so I can't really recreate that. The skin, most of the time when I paint skin, I think I use like a maybe a Cadian, no, I start with brown, like a Mornfang brown. I go Cadian flesh tone, or Cadian flesh, or whatever it is, and then Kislev flesh. And there's usually my process is, yeah, start with black, go with a dark color, so in this case it was the brown, go with the highlight, so that was the Cadian. Then I put a wash on, and then I do the final sort of highlight. So in this case that was the Kislev flesh over the top of the, I can't remember if I used like a, maybe, boy, what's it, I'm trying to think, it's got some sort of funny name like Earthshade or something like that. So yeah, and then I've done some edged highlights there on his suit. This is inspired by one of the painters, his name is, goes by the handle of Fireball on the Discord, and he did his Multiple Man in sort of a very dark sort of suit, with some sort of real dark sort of bluish sort of highlights, blue lined highlights, and so I've tried to recreate that here with this guy and then continue that through the team. So I don't think X Factor technically wore sort of black. I think they still had a blue and yellow uniform, but I really like the effect it gives here, and it sort of makes them look like, you know, Men in Blackish, you know, government agents. So yeah, quite cool. And I'm not sure that my yellow highlights work really well here on the back, but it does sort of make him look like he's all rippling skin and he's sort of all grotesque, and his skin's all sort of warped out of control. Excuse me. Like the character from the comics. So yeah, the only thing sort of bringing him down a little bit is the metallic there on his shoulder pads. Again, isn't very interesting, but yeah, there you go. But yeah, I was happy with him. He's got a cool personality to his face there. But yeah, speaking of the highlights on his hands there, one of the things about my highlighting style is I have no idea about the theory of, like, you know, obviously the light is all supposed to be sort of shining from one direction or whatever and this or that, but I just kind of make it up. I sort of go, well, is this where a highlight should be? And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So here's Rain, or Wolfsbane. She was a really sort of fun character to paint too. I really like her. I'm actually really happy with how she turned out. The only thing is, you know, so I've gone with what I thought she looked like on the cards from Marvel United, and I think maybe she's turned out a little bit too brownish and less red. Like, I think she should be a little bit more sort of ginger, a little bit more red, to set her off from Feral when I do Feral. So I guess I'm just going to have to make Feral a bit lighter than maybe I would have, but yeah, she was a lot of fun to paint. Reading back through the X-Men or X Factor comics, I found an issue where Wolfsbane sort of is talking to a psychologist, and she's imagining herself in her dreams as Ren and Feral as Stimpy, and I thought that was funny. So now I always think of her as Ren and Feral as Stimpy, so that's kind of funny. Yeah, so got that yellow highlight there, and her fur was a lot of fun to pick out as well, sort of like put some little sort of highlights in there as well. So there we go. And the final model, that I have completed, just finished the other day actually, just the other night, is Multiple Man. And yeah, again, so you can see that sort of extreme highlights, lots of dark black sort of shadow recesses there, even on something like a yellow. The coat, that same sort of thing. Coats, I should say. This guy was put off more than I could chew with him because he's two models really. I sort of didn't take that into account. But yeah, and you can see my style of highlighting also makes the faces look really evil and sinister. Like I can't even, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to paint a really friendly looking model because, I mean, he's got a bit of a nasty sort of smirk anyway, this model, but yeah, he really doesn't look like a good guy because he's all really sort of like dark and in shadow there sort of thing. But yeah, he was a lot of fun to paint. I did forget that he was wearing gloves, or supposed to be wearing gloves, and I painted his hands sort of bare-fisted, and I was happier with, turns out I was happier with the highlighting I did on the skin. I thought, no, I'll go back and I'll paint them black again and I'll do it properly with the suit, but I'm not really happy with those highlights there, so I was happier with how he looked with the bare fist, but we'll live and learn. But and I have to give a shout out again to Fireball, because this is a direct inspiration. I've pretty much taken a lot of what I've done here with him, especially with the edged highlights there, and the fact that he's very black instead of blue, to yeah, basically his version that he shared on the Discord looks very, well, I shouldn't say very similar to this because this is a lot better, but yeah, I've taken inspiration from his paint job there, and I'm going to do the same with the next model that I paint. I'm going to do Iron Fist, and he painted Iron Fist instead of in his sort of green jumpsuit, or he looks like one of the PJ Masks. He painted him shirtless, so he's got his green pants, but his shirt he painted his bare skin, and just painted that the dragon on the front of the shirt as just like a tattoo, and it looks awesome. So I'm gonna try and recreate that. So yeah, excellent. So those are my models. So hopefully the lighting showed them up. I'm not sure if that showed them up very well at all. I tried turning this on before, but it just seemed to make it worse. So apologies if that wasn't a very good showcase. But now I will stop rabbiting on about my models and my painting and my background in painting, and yeah, show you some really sort of fun stuff from the Discord, and hopefully you'll get some inspiration from there as well. So it's certainly been inspiring for me, and I thank these guys for being a really sort of welcoming community, and giving me feedback and positive words and stuff like that of encouragement when I've shared my models as well. So they're a very encouraging group, and lots of painters of all different skill levels in there, and everyone sort of feels welcome to share their models. Although sometimes when some of those really good ones come up, you think, oh no, am I going to be able to show mine again? But yeah, it's always really inspiring. So let's have a look at them. Okay, so the first painter that we're going to be featuring goes by Rkik. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, on the Discord. And boy, I mean, talk about what I mentioned before, like this comic book style, and a lot of people really being able to emulate that, and this is real good quality, of real bright comic colors, and really sort of looking like they're sort of leaping out of the pages. So here we have sort of a range of models. I really love the little sort of touches on Juggernaut's head there, the little sort of edge lines, little sort of scuffs there. You can see the real smooth skin tones on Mystique, and those the lips look really nice. Lipstick's great there. The eyes, and even just those real nice eyebrows. It's just all really nice and smooth. And that white on her sort of bodysuit there is great. I hope those. I'm getting some Discord messages popping up. I wonder if that's picking up on the camera, but I guess, or on the voice recorder. But I guess we'll find out in the final video. And then looking across at Professor X there, it's sort of funny. He's a great model himself, but I really like the work that's been done on the base there with that rug. If you're sort of looking closely at that, looks fantastic. So yeah, just really sort of good collection of models there. Then if we take a look at, I think it's Squirrel Girl here, we've got a nice close-up here, and there's some really fantastic stuff going on here from the really sort of fun lines, those sort of little highlight lines on the tail to sort of simulate the fur there. Those eyes are really, really nice there too, and really sort of really nice colors picked out there for that sort of like sort of brownish, almost hazily sort of eyes there. So yeah, great, and little lines, little highlights in the hair there as well. So some great little details in this one. And I really wanted to highlight this Weapon X as well. He's a great model. Really fun model. Lots of details on him, and this has been a really nice, clean sort of paint job of him. But the reason I wanted to show him off is the reverse view of him. He's got this really cool detail work on his, I guess they're his undies or his boxer shorts there. With those little, what are they, little Deadpool faces or whatever. So I thought that was really, really cool and really good detail work, to control the paintbrush to get that little level of detail there. So that looks fantastic. So yeah, great job. Okay, and next up we have this super smooth, super clean lines and super nice blending by Craig. So you can see here this first model. This is a Mockingbird, and this is like a really good, I guess, sort of overall example of what Craig's bringing to the party here. So just like really nice, clean, crisp, work here, and those eyes are really, they really stand out. So some great work there. And Nebula here, she really just really nails the crisp cleanness. This is really what I wanted to show of Craig's work in terms of the cleanness. She's really a great one for showing that off. And I mean, look at those. Even with these eyes, they're a very different style, but like they look so nice. Just like that jet black with that just little tiny pinprick of light there really just sets that off. So there's some really great control here. That's yeah, excellent. Love this. And then from the super line work from Nebula, we come to Punisher here, and like look at the real subtle blending going on with like the 5 o'clock shadow there, and even just the way the black with his jacket there is it's just sort of highlighted with that sort of real soft glow of the sort of the grey tones there that really bring out the light as well. So yeah, just a real masterclass in both line work and some subtle blending. So yeah, excellent stuff. I love this. I've said I love this twice now, I think, but I really do. These look really great. And speaking of love this, look, this here. Well, here's an example of some metallic, done really nicely and smoothly. So you can use true metallic colors and have them come out really nicely. I assume these are metallic. Looks metallic to me, but I also really wanted to highlight the glowing effect from the I don't know what you call these, the power sources or whatever from these sentinels. They just look really cool, really effective against that metallic that glow there. So yeah, great job, Craig. These all these models look fantastic. So yeah, good job. Okay, so next up we have SRPG Guy 30, and I'm probably being a bit daft here, but I scratched my brain trying to work out what's the SRPG stand for, because I'm assuming it's there's the JRPG, the Japanese role-play games, but I can't think of what the S stands for, so maybe someone can tell me what that means. Maybe it's something totally different, but yeah, SRPG Guy 30, and yeah, wanted to sort of highlight some of their work, because like a really detailed painter here, really nice and neat. Look at these lines, these really neat lines on Miles Morales here. This is I think this is SRPG Guy's favorite, or one of his favorite models. So I wanted to make sure I highlighted this, and you can see there he's added some nice effects like the flock on the base there as well, and looks really good. So whilst he's able to, or I'm assuming it's he, is able to get some really good control in his models. I also wanted to show off he's quite a creative, interesting sort of painter who comes up with all these really sort of cool tricks and little things to sort of really make his model stand out. So we'll have a look at some of his other models too. First up, SRPG guy reliably informs me that we have a world exclusive here. So this is the first time he's sharing his version of Beast. He hasn't even put this up on the Discord apparently. So yeah, this this is quite a cool one, and yeah, again shows this really sort of bright or you know, sort of comic book style, almost sort of cartoony as well. So really nice sort of vibrant blues here, nice and bold. So this is a great model. And then we have First Class Iceman, and I don't really know what to say here. Like I don't know what's happening here. This is such an interesting paint job. It sort of looks like dry brushing, but I'm not sure. Is there like a gloss on here, a varnish? It's like really shiny. It just looks really cool. It's like really captured this really cool um, you know, look for Iceman, because you know it's making him look like, you know, this otherworldly sort of, or you know, this icy sort of texture or tone. Like he doesn't look like he's sort of made of normal sort of flesh or whatever. He looks like he's made of some sort of ice, or yeah, it's just really cool. You know, I really like the, you know, the ice ball shooting out from him is so glossy as well. So yeah, really interesting choices there with the color and the texture and how that's been done. I'm not sure if part of it comes from the model, if that's the model has a texture like that, or if it's what he's achieved with his paints there. But yeah, great work. Oh boy! And if you thought Iceman was was out there, like check this out. This is his Mysterio, and you know that dome, or you know the bowl that he's wearing on his head, like that affected. That's not just the light, you know, from the, yeah, from his, you know, painting lamp or whatever, sort of shining on there. That's he's actually painted that effect on there. It looks really cool. You know, the rest of the model actually looks like it's really painted really fun, really cartoony. It looks great, but then that 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 dome or whatever is just really pops, and it just really makes it such a standout model. That would look great on any table, you know, any board. That would look really good. So that's a real standout achievement there. I really like that model. Okay, and finally we have Daredevil here, and you might be saying, "Oh, what's going on, Meeple Monkey?" You know, this is a perfectly nice, neatly painted Daredevil, maybe with a little bit of glowy eyes there. But you know, is this really your highlight of all the creative paint jobs from the masterful SRPG guy? But wait, just wait till you see this. Look at these glowing eyes. What's happening here? I don't understand how this is achieved. It almost looks like he's put glowing lights inside the head. I can only assume this is some sort of really cool, crazy sort of glow in the dark paint or something. But yeah, it looks really cool, and really super in theme for, you know, Daredevil, and you know that sort of the vigilante by night sort of thing. Really sort of lights up in the dark there. So yeah, fantastic. Really cool. Another sort of crazy effect from SRPG guy. So yeah, really creative, cool painter. So yeah, awesome. Oh, and hot off the presses, I did say that Daredevil was going to be SRPG guys finale, but this just dropped as well. So this is his cloak, and if you have a look over the next series of pictures here, amazing, just really cool effect. And then even better when you turn the lights off or put the UV on. Check this out. Just awesome. Yeah, such a cool effect. So yeah, really crazy models coming out from SRPG guys. Fantastic. Yeah, real. Keep up that creative creative talent. It's looking great. All right, and now on to MatteoBeano, who's got, yeah, a lot of great models on the Discord, the mini painting channel. And yeah, really bright, popping, sort of comic book cartoony style again. And another master of the eyes. You know, look at these two. What is it? America Chavez, I think, and Miss Marvel. The eyes on these like really sort of like make the characters sort of come to life. And I love these little, you know, just the brightness of these, like that what is it, traffic light there, you know, just with the yellow highlights there, just really nice. Yeah, really sort of vibrant models. And then again, you have this red skull, you know, with this just such personality coming out from the eyes there, and that really sort of smooth. Really like the paint on the skull there, and the jacket's really, the coat, I guess, is really cool too. So yeah, another great one. And then check these guys out. Like, check out just the subtleness of the layering or the blending, you know, with the skin tones here, like you know, the furrowed brows, and then, you know, check out Luke Cage's his torso there, like just on the muscles there, that yellow, look, the highlighting, the blending, it's just so, yeah, it looks so cool. Really really subtle there. I really like that. And then again, another one like that Punisher we saw, where Matteo's able to create a really nice highlighted black using, I guess, grey tones, you know, some highlights there without doing the, you know, the real sharp edged highlights that I've done. So yeah, I really like that, and Blade's shades there look really cool too. So yeah, and actually just to call out here too, if you look at some of the base work, there's some on the like the stones there under Luke Cage and under Blade there as well. Some really nice, interesting sort of effects there as well. So yeah, great collection of models here. And finally, if you've been wondering, or you know, you're looking at your models and you see all these invisible models, you know, sculpted to look like ice or a flame and that sort of thing, and you're thinking you'd like to leave that effect but still paint the rest of the model, especially with models like Sue Storm here. Matteo was kind enough to show us his process, like, you know, the steps of putting the I think it's some sort of liquid sort of masking paint or something, that, you know, some sort of substance that you can apply over a model and then prime it, you know, spray it with a undercoat without getting any paint, obviously, on these clear bits that you want to sort of leave clear. So, you know, if you've got an Iceman or a Phoenix or something like that, and you want to keep those sort of see-through elements there, this is the sort of stuff you can apply rather than using an actual tape. You can use this sort of liquid stuff that you paint on, and then apparently you just peel it off. So yeah, I'll show you what that looks, what the finished product looks like now. And there you go. So yeah, you've got Sue Storm painted beautifully by Matteo, and yeah, she's still got her sort of invisible leg there and her force field or whatever that is as well. So yeah, it looks great. Great job, Matteo. Oakley dokley, and next we have Dango is our next painter, and yeah, look at these models here. This is a great sort of snapshot of his work here. It's, you know, leaping straight out of the pages of the comics, or, you know, even potentially the cartoons back in the 90s and that sort of thing. You know, just really popping sort of models here, and look at that rhino. You know, the way he's picked out all the little sort of rough texture on the skin there, with little sort of nodules on his skin, and that you know, nice work on the horn there with the gradients of the sort of the bone color, and yeah, you know, like the skin as well, and the lines in there. It's sort of reminiscent, or at least I sort of think of it as similar to my own, but like less harsh, and just, you know, like, I think it works a little bit better in terms of like going for that sort of comic book style, but in a more clean sort of way. So yeah, really nice models here. Good little team. All right, I say, you know, reminiscent of mine, but really, this is light years ahead, isn't it? Like, check this out. Like, look at the work there on Ronan's face, on his helmet or his hat or whatever he's wearing there. Just really nice lines, beautiful sort of gradients going, of layering, sort of going up the helmet there. That face, you know, the eyes, the cheekbone, the sort of shadow under the cheek. You know, that's. I guess what I'm saying is I try and achieve that sort of look, but this is him sort of nailing it, and then in addition to that, he's got that you know, the shadows down really well. You know, the little what is it, like loincloth type thing there on Ronan as well. And then if we look across at Mystique, you know, that's Mystique done really well. I love the hair, I love the sort of the different sort of tones of red and sort of orangey to sort of like a little hints of yellow there in her hair. Nice smooth white, and then you know, what are they? The shoulder pads or the shoulder plates on. I forget the name of the big guy from Thanos' crew. Was he Black Dwarf or something? Maybe that's it. Maybe I don't forget it. Maybe it's Black Dwarf, unless I'm getting that wrong. But anyway, yeah, awesome. Like, look at that shoulder pad and the glinting off it. I think I think that looks to me like it's probably like a non-metallic metal effect, because I think the impression I'm getting there from Dango is that he's doing sort of like a metallic sort of shoulder pad there. It's supposed to look like metal, and he's just got that light sort of shining and glinting off it, which streaks, which looks really awesome. So yeah, really nice models here. It just keeps getting better here. Look at this group here. That's an awesome version of Cyclops, and then Doctor Octopus. Everything from the glasses, the glow in his sort of tentacles there, especially at the front there where it's coming out of the claw, and then the non-metallic metal here on each of the. He's picked out each of the different sort of little segments in the tentacles there, with that sort of non-metallic metal sort of look there. And then if we have a look at close look at Doctor Strange there, the checker pattern on his on the inside of his cloak is really cool, and I think I'm going to feature it later. So he's actually sort of inspired at least one other person to sort of to do that as well. So unless maybe I'm getting this wrong, maybe that's what his cloak is always supposed to look like. But I think Dango was one of the first to do it on at least on the mini painting channel. Apologies if I'm getting that wrong and not giving the right credit to the right people. But yeah, definitely. He's definitely nailed it on his model, so excellent. And Dango's not one to be left behind with the Mysterio craze. So he's his take on Mysterio again. Great paint job, but I love that he's done a little bit of conversion work here, and looks like he's sort of experimented with a few different, sort of marbles with the different sort of cloud effect through them, and he's picked that one and chucked it on. It really sort of it does suit Mysterio and that sort of swirling orb of mystical gas or whatever it is that he's got on his head. So yeah, it looks great conversion. Okay, it's a cannonball. I don't know why I keep saying cannonball when I'm thinking about this character, but in my head I sort of get it. I just hear that song, cherry bomb. So I don't know why, but he just always sort of reminds me of that. But yeah, great model. Really sort of bursting out. I love the flame effect. So this comes from a painter who goes by Frubblegump, and although I think on the Discord they go by Crazy K, but yeah, Frubblegump I think is their username on maybe Twitter or Instagram or some of those other sort of social media sites. I think that's what they sort of normally go by. So, but either way, yeah, a great model. Look at the eyes there. I love the way they're sort of looking off to the side there, sort of indicating some action and some movement off to the side there. Yeah, really nice highlights on the face there, down the cheeks as well, and just under the sort of the cheekbone as well. And I'm not going to say anything about this model. I'm just going to let us all just bask in the majesty that is the eyes on this Hope Summers model here. So let's just all take a moment to reflect on what we could be doing with our painting. All right, just a fantastic model. So yeah, those eyes just really capture the glinting look there. Really fantastic. And Frubblegump has also sort of blessed us with one of these really great models with the sort of the clear effects as well. So they've obviously put some sort of masking down, maybe that liquid stuff that we saw before over the wave here on Namor, and that's really allowed them to go to town, with a really nice paint job here, and then have this really nice effect with the wave. And no matter which angle you look at it from, you're seeing the light coming through, and it just looks really effective. So this sort of this model in particular sort of solidified for me that yes, I'd like to sort of try and do most of my models that are like this, and actually sort of paint the model but leave the clear effects on there if I can. So this proves that it can work and look really effective. So yeah, great job. All right, now it's TablePlay actually wears many hats here, because TablePlay are actually the ones who produce the those tiered displays that I'd showed off in a previous video, and you can see them here, and you'll see them in all of their shots here. Their models displayed on these. So if you're wondering what those look like, with better photography, this is you can see what they look like here. But yeah, they wear many hats because obviously, besides making some great game accessories, they're also quite a talented painter here. And I really, yeah, if we look at this like this, I think this Cyclops is a great example. It's kind of blowing me away. Like if you look at the face there, that the visor, it's almost like it almost sometimes sounds like a bad thing to say, like an impressionist style, because it looks great from a distance sort of thing. But this really does have that look of when you zoom in there, you can see that sort of real painterly quality, and it's almost like I'm seeing like a real sort of 2D beautiful sort of painting on this face. It's sort of I'm finding it really hard to describe. Yeah, but just looking at that the non-metallic metal on the visor there, and that glinting light, on the visor, it's just just really a really fascinating style sort of thing. And look at the lights on the top of his hair there, just really really good, sort of like a real painterly quality. And I guess what I mean by that painterly quality is just it looks like a painting you would see on a wall. Is I guess what I'm trying to say. And again, look at this storm here. Look at the striking sort of contrast between the blues underneath the cape, and then that sort of the white with the light shining down on top. Really really striking effect. Now we have Wolverine with this awesome non-metallic metal, these light sort of patterns on his claws here, and I really really like his the little touches of like the stubble on his chin there, and sort of a little bit of hairy arms there, and that's another really fun model. Oh boy, this is a really cool image here with you can really see lots of great characters here. And you particularly want to call out the Wasp there on the end there with that awesome helmet with all the light going there and the little glints on the wings in the top corner. You've got Ant-Man just with those little subtle little sparks of light on the top there, just sort of making him pop. Ultron's got that nice glow in the back there. Just a really nice collection of models, and really beautifully displayed on those stands there. So they're really cool. And I probably should point out, I keep highlighting these TablePlay displays and that sort of thing, and they're awesome. But I probably should say I'm not paid or anything. I don't work for the company or anything like that. I just really like the product, so I thought I'd give it a shout out. So it just seemed to be giving lots of shout outs recently. But I actually do plan on, as soon as I've got some of the dividers coming as well, so I'll put together a video showing, and I've mentioned this before, but I'll put together a video showing the dividers and the displays with all the models sitting on them once I get those dividers, and then I can show my sort of storage solution and that sort of thing as well. So so I promise I don't work for them. I don't have any sort of like sponsorship or anything like that, but just thought it's a cool product, so I'd show it off. All right, TablePlay, great products and great painting. And here we have the models, or at least a selection of some of the models from at mastersrich, or aka Rich Masters, aka I think Lemon Grab, on the Discord as well. Boy, yeah, I mean, you can see some great sort of effects here. In the back you can see the Wasp there, and there's a very similar sort of look there with the light streaks on the visor there, and the little glints on the wings. So I wonder if these two sort of got together and were talking in the Discord about how they'd paint, or maybe this was something from the cards, or perhaps some of those painted models that were on the Kickstarter as well, that sort of inspired these guys as well. Because they look really good, and both painters that we've just seen with this model have nailed the effect. Slightly different in each case. Like they've got their own tweaks on it, but just like phenomenal painting. And then I particularly want to shout out Thor here, with that real sort of shiny gloss helmet with that sort of streak of light, the real sort of fun, accentuated, or the accents on the six pack there, and then that the fun little touch of lightning sort of crackling all over the hammer. Really fun model. And mastersrich has really just knocked it out of the park with this one too. This is an incredible Hulk, and I really just like the vibrant green here. It's real sort of almost fluorescent, and it really sort of captures that good comic book style. The gamma radiation and that sort of thing. So yeah, just bursting with color. This one I really like it, but still bursting with color, but still got those nice little dark shades and shadows and crisp lines as well. So yeah, excellent. And boy, there's really a good crop here of non-metallic metals, but a really sort of cartoony take on that. From Ultron in the front there, you can see Loki with his sort of nice gold on his helmet and his staff, and I think that his little sort of chest plate or whatever he's got there as well. And then we have some real masterful sort of light lines there on the sort of shoulder piece, I guess, or the chest plate there of Thanos and his gauntlet there. So yeah, great stuff. And I'm just so impressed with so many different styles and so many different ways people are painting these, and it all works, and people have they're making whatever their style is, really work for them, sort of thing. And like, look at these models here. This is Drew Olds. I think he goes by Odin's grandson on Discord. And yeah, these just like the lighting on these, the shade, like the dark lines, the dark shadows, the real high, bright, like glaring light highlights. Yeah, just great here. And I'll particularly call out the Captain America here. We'll have a look at him separately, because it's an award-winning model. It actually took bronze at the Repicon in the Chibi category. So yeah, the award-winning model, and you can see why. I've said before, like my style is I start from black as my darkest shade on everything. Leave it in the recesses, in every model, because I want it to. And really, what I'm trying to do is get it to mimic that look of the inking, the inked-in effect of the comic books, with all the dark lines of the comic book artists, and this is Drew is pulling it off here. Like it's like he's actually drawing those or inking in those lines. He's doing the proper comic book process. So yeah, like looks awesome, and really that shield effect there. You can see why this is been such a successful model. Yeah, Drew's models they're straight out of a comic panel, aren't they? Just look at that lighting and the lines and the shadows on the face there, and down the trench coat. I mean, Iron Man here is just simply amazing. Like, just jaw dropping. Like the level of success that Drew's had here, just getting that light to look just so effective. All glinting off the armor there without using the metallic paints. And even just the blast effect there, in the way he's got the flame sort of radiating out there and having it all blackened on the outside. Yeah, just awesome. I guess for me, the thing that's so impressive, apart from everything else that's impressive about Drew's work, is like he captures the exact look and feel of the comic panel, but also whilst making it look 3D. Like, look at that axe head on Black Dwarf's axe. Like, it looks, I mean, I know it is a 3D model, but you know what I mean? Like, it actually sort of makes the painting and the light look like it's really shining off the 3D image that he's trying to project in the painted form there. It's just yeah, excellent. The same with that shoulder plate and Thor's helmet there. Yeah, really great effects. And to finish off with Drew's showcase here, we have to show Magneto and just what an amazing job he's done here. I mean, look at that. Look at the work he's done all down. His helmet, his face, his the back of his palm, the back of his fist, his chest. Just everything screams like straight out of a comic book. All right, our next painter goes by DJO, and yeah, they have a really striking sort of style. The yellow work there, on Rogue's uniform there, just the glow, that sort of gradient as it gets up to the glow there is just so well done, and that's something that you'll see across their models. And yeah, again, another master of the really good looking eyes on these models. I think the great thing about these chibis is they have such big sort of cartoony eyes. They allow you to really go to town with that, and these painters are certainly sort of making the most of that. So yeah, another really great model. And he sure is a popular one with the master painters. But here we have another take on Mysterio. And apart from the obvious, like, look at that beautiful sort of cloud swirl effect that's been achieved there in the dome there. That's fantastic, of course. But again, if we have a look at DJO's work on the actual body itself, you can see that again, that sort of glow that on the green of his thigh there. Just the way that sort of works up to that lightest shade there. Really well done. So overall, fantastic work with the dome as well. But just with the whole package, the whole model is just top quality. Here we have Kitty Pryde, and another fantastic model. Just really sort of that the shine with that yellow is really coming through strong. The eyes are beautiful there. Just everything is great. I love the work on the brick wall here. Just how a little bit of extra detail with those little crisp lines just helps bring out some extra detail in the wall, and it looks like there's a little bit of a looks to me like maybe a bit of a wash in certain areas, but it's been sort of applied in such a way that you can see real different sort of textures throughout the brick wall there. And if we have a look on the reverse, if you have a look here again, you can see the beautiful sort of glow there. But also, if you look at where the model is sort of disappearing, or I guess disappearing into the wall there, just this little subtle sort of little highlights just around where that's happening, just sort of helps create that, reinforce that effect that, there's something happening here where she's sort of becoming, what's the word, like incorporeal, or whatever the word is there, like she really does look like there's a bit of a point where she's sort of blending in with the wall there. Just, yeah, excellent, amazing. Like Nightcrawler, what more can you say? This is, the light work, the light and shadow on this model is just stunning. I sort of lost words. I don't really know what to say here. It's just such a fantastic paint job. Such a dynamic model, and he's just brought to life even more by this paint job. The glow from the Banff sort of explosion there on the sort of underside of his thighs there. That sort of purplish glow. The way the light is sort of like shining in contrast with the shadow on his face. Just, yeah, stunning. And speaking of stunning, when DJO dropped these, or dropped the first picture, I should say, of one of these sentinels on the Discord, he just about broke the internet, or just about at least broke the Discord. Everyone's just been sort of blown away by these. They look so good. The non-metallic metal, the light, just so good. So, talking about, I've said before, leaping out of the pages of the comics and that sort of thing. This is just, so, amazingly dynamic. The lighting, the shadow, really good. And, they look just as good from behind as well. It's just the attention to detail with keeping this light pattern and this style consistent across the whole model on such a large model with such large areas. around the whole thing in 3D. Just shows a real commitment, and yeah, DJO's just knocked it out of the park, so well. Yeah, fantastic. And next up we have Alabastos. And another great painter with this, a real good grasp of how to create those glowing effects there. So that the light there shining down from underneath the Green Goblin's glider looks awesome. And the light work here on Ultron, both on the chrome and in I guess in the recesses of his armor plating there, where you've got that sort of glowing red sort of lines and the glow in the orbs there. Yeah, really nice. And it's not just things like the non-metallic metal or the glowing orbs and things like that Alabastos is able to sort of show real good control of lighting. But even just look at the skin on Hulk here and his just the shadows or the light on his pants there. Awesome. It's always really impressive to be able to maintain that control of lighting with really difficult colors like whitey, building up to a really nice clean white from a dark base as well. Great. And then if you look, closely in Ghost Spider's cowl here, you can see all the detail work with the webbing in there as well. That would have been tricky to get to, but masterfully done. Let's have a look at some more of the detail work here that Alabastos is able to achieve. Look at the, what is it? I guess the rug on the floor here of Professor X, and the little wood grains on the floorboards there just underneath. It's so good. And just as an aside, I really like this the shadowing or the effect on the side of his chair there. It looks really nice too. And then if we have a look at this next one. Here we have Doctor Strange and just look how crisp and neat those little square sort of patterns, little check patterns on his cloak are. Yeah, just awesome work. Great detail. And for the final piece that we'll feature here for Alabastos is their amazing Juggernaut. Like, this model's just, epic. It's got everything that Alabastos is bringing to the table with their painting style. The lighting, the epic sort of like just little glints. Look at on the helmet there, but just on the shoulder as well, and that sort of pectoral muscle. The just choice of colors, the texture, just everything is perfect on this model. Just such a powerful and epic piece. Great work. Okay, and now on to probably the painter on Discord that's probably I guess inspired me the most, or is the one I sort of aspire to reach their level and emulate some of their techniques probably the most, which is Fireball. So, and here we can see this model here sort of I think exemplifies all of the skill that Fireball is able to sort of bring to the models and that sort of thing. From the really nice edge highlights, the beautiful color choices, the skin tone, and the beautiful work on the bases as well. Look at those pants. The color gradient through the pants. Let alone just those beautiful sort of lines that they're able to achieve there. But really like this, and the way those sort of like colors pop on the jacket there as well. Yeah, excellent piece. Sebastian Shaw, this looked like a great model, a fun one to paint, and Fireball's really shown that off really well. I love the little touches that Fireball adds here, like the little streaks of highlight across the the Xavier School sort of nameplate there on the base, and just the cleanness of the highlights on those cheekbones, and then even down to the eyes there, how crisp and how clean those little the whites and the pupils there are on the eyes. And this Cyclops is just amazing. Like the line work on his muscles there, the muscle definition, and not to mention that visor, that little glow right in that one spot, just making it look super super excellent, like just like he's about to fire off a blast there. Just amazing work. Love it. And then we have this glorious Star-Lord. I mean, it's so fantastic. The what do you call that? The goggles, I guess. The little touches that are added to these goggles, and just the way that comes across just looks so good, especially when you sort of step back from it a little bit and it just looks like there's that sort of like glassy shine to them. Fantastic. And just look at the sense of light and texture that's created here from what Fireball's managed to achieve on the helmet here of Juggernaut. It's just amazing. Just like looks so realistic, and we've just seen a whole incredible lineup of Juggernauts, and I think this amongst all these amazing models, I think this is probably my favorite of all the helmets that we've seen from Juggernaut. This is probably my favorite. Just outstanding. And then we have Fireball's Colossus here. Fantastic model. It just somehow it manages to create what I sort of picture as the non-metallic metal look, but using metallics. It's just the way he's used the light there, and really been able to sort of capture the different tones of those metallic paints. Awesome. And then you look at the rest of the model. You look at his what do you call that? His costume, and it's fantastic work with the reds and the yellows there as well. Just the shadows there look awesome. Just really picks out those muscles really well. And then that brings us to Apocalypse. Just fantastic. What a great blend. What a great combination of Fireball's style with his ability to use non-metallic, or I should say, sorry, metallic, true metallic metal techniques, but make it his own, make it look really suit that comic book style. You can see the line work in this metallic highlighting here. Amazing. And then combining that with those really sharp, fluorescent almost blue highlights on the edges of his sort of pectoral muscles and abs and stuff there. Just the whole thing just comes together and makes a fantastic piece. Just excellent, really good. And from both angles, from this back shot of Apocalypse as well, the whole model just screams quality. Right, and we finally come to our last painter that we're going to feature here on this video, and this is Toppulous. And what I love about Toppulous's style is that it just seems to be this perfect blend between realism and as real as you can get on these big chibi models, but like a real sense of realism and realistic sort of effects on the model, along with that sort of real comic book cartoony style as well. So for an example of what I'm talking about is like he's got that big streak across the forehead, but some really subtle blending sort of leading into that there. The 5 o'clock shadow almost, or the shadow on the cheeks or the jowls there. That sort of greyish tone blended in with the light there. And then those big cartoony eyes, really, really good stuff here on Professor X. And I really like that effect on the front of his big sort of hover chair there, with those big blocked out sort of darker gradients there, and then that sort of light reflection on the top there. Really, really nice. And this Jean Grey here really shows what Toppulous can do with the glowing effect, and how they use that light and dark and the shadow right underneath Jean Grey's hair there. You can see it's so dark around where her her right hand is there, or her right arm. Beautiful work on her hair, just the different tones in her hair there. Really, really nice. And again, we have another unbelievably well-painted Juggernaut. I don't know what it is about Juggernaut that brings out the best in these painters, but wow, they really, there's a lot of complaining on the Discord about these models with these big wide flat areas, but wow, they certainly know how to make it work with this model. It's just what everybody's done with this big giant dome of his is nothing short of amazing. So yeah, again, fantastic work, and toppulous is one of the best here. Fantastic. Alrighty then, and then so we've come full circle. We started with, I think, the Mystique was the first model that I showed, that, you know, because I started with that one, and now we come to Toppulous's Mystique, and boy, they've done a fantastic job. This is just, again, this is another one of those models I could just say, look, I'm not going to say anything, just the model speaks for itself. Just check this out, like that her face, you know, just the subtlety of the blending, the layering, whatever's happening there, just amazing. You can barely even see where the different like gradients of color sort of change across her face, but you can see that it does go from that almost white across through into the blue. It's just, yeah, just astounding, stunning work here. So, and you know, that's the sort of, it's almost the antithesis, it's almost the complete opposite of what I purposely am going for, or trying to achieve with my really dark lines, dark black in the, you know, the recesses everywhere. But I, you know, this, I think that, you know, it's almost because of how awesome and how difficult this looks to do, is almost, I'm sort of shying away from doing that sort of stuff. So I take my hat off to Toppulous here. This is just unbelievable. Yeah, really good stuff. So well, that's going to do it for me in terms of showcasing these models. I hope you've found them really inspiring like I have. Hopefully you were able to get through my rambling and sort of waffling at the beginning, and my almost pointless sort of explanation of you know, where I've come from as a painter, and, you know, how I picked up the techniques that I did, and that sort of thing, and why I paint the way that I do. Maybe a couple of you found that at least interesting. But either way, I really hope that you've found something that you know, that you can take away from this. There's so many good painters here that I've been able to showcase, and I thank each and every one of them who, you know, so kindly agreed to let me showcase some of their work. Yeah, they've all just done an amazing job. And the other thing I'll say too is that there's always new people coming into the Discord, and new painters, and I'm sure even amongst the painting channel at the moment, as I've been putting this video together, I'm sure there have been more and new improved paint jobs going in there, and new painters coming in and showing off their things as well. So if I've missed anyone, or if, you know, you go in there later and you find some other work, you know, I'm sure there's lots of extra work there, and I could almost do a whole second video, I suppose, with lots of new stuff. So yeah, this is fantastic. And what I'll do is, if you are interested in seeing any of these artists work, or following them, if any of them care to share their details with me in terms of like the different I guess social media, or just different places you can find their work, I'll put any links to those in the description below. And also, if you're interested in checking out this Discord, it's a really friendly community. So if you'd like to sort of get in there and say hi and showcase some of your own work, or just discuss the game, discuss you know, rules or tactics, and there's a whole lively community of people discussing what they'd like to see in a hypothetical season 3. There's a lot of people making homebrew heroes and villains and different rules for new characters, and being able to use all the villains in the game as heroes and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's a really nice community. So I'll put the link to that Discord as well. It's called I think it's just called Marvel United Discord. I'll put the link in the description as well. So yeah, thank you very much. Hope this has been somewhat enjoyable. It's a very long one. Hopefully you're able to sort of dip in and out of it, and find what you liked there. Yeah, keep an eye out. I will be, if that TablePlay stuff looked interesting to you, I'll be putting a video out, because I just received, as I've been editing and putting this video together over the last week or so, I've received all the dividers for Marvel United, both United and United X-Men. So I've got all of my storage solution pretty much complete now. So all dividers are in there. I've managed to narrow it down to a few boxes, and so I'll showcase that in an upcoming video as well. So if you're looking for storage solutions or display solutions like TablePlay provide, I'll showcase some of that as well, plus some other companies as well. I'm using, like, for example, folded space inserts and that sort of thing as well. So, yeah, well, thank you very much. Thanks for your patience. Yeah, hopefully this has been something that you can, springboard from and produce your own fantastic work as well. And love to see it in a Discord or on Facebook or anywhere else you care to share it. So, happy gaming and happy painting. Thanks, guys. Meeple Monkey out.